From international cricket, has life become easier in terms of the expectations and the pressure? Has life become easier in general?
Well, frankly, if you ask me, if you're a celebrity in India, if people look up to you, there's always certain amount of responsibility, roles that you're supposed to fulfill, and that expectation is always there. Also, I'm only playing IPL, which means I'm actively playing cricket for 2 months in a year. In fact, it's slightly more difficult because I'm not playing throughout the year. So now my role and responsibility for CSK or towards cricket, I have to keep myself fit. So I have to plan the whole year where, what I need to do, when I need to do. I'm 42, running 43, which means I have to eat nicely. I can't just eat what I want to eat. You have to train because at the end of the day, nobody cares if you're 42, 45 or 50. If you're competing with people at the top level, you have to be at the same benchmark, what they are setting. They may be 20, they may be 15, they may be 17. So if you're competing with them, you have to be like them. So there's no excuses for that. So that's one of the reasons I find it slightly more difficult. You have to be very motivated. At the same time, your friends keep on complaining. They'll be like, we gave you a lot of time, now that you have retired from international cricket, you have to spend some time with us. You need to eat what we are eating and all of that. So you have to balance it out. So that expectation level, that pressure is still there.
How do you actually keep calm and cool when the situation is it looks almost next to impossible? Like one of the instances that I can think of is the India versus Bangladesh match where they required 1 run in 2 balls, right? 2 runs in 3 balls, and we won the match. Like, how do you kind of compose yourself in these sort of situations? Like, are you really cool inside, or is it just the exterior looks cool?
पहला तो ऐसा लग रहा है ना मुझे बीच में बैठा के दोनों तरफ से गोलियां चल रही हैं. But it's a lot more fun because I can share my experience with you guys, and I've always been someone that believes in the process. I'm not someone who looks at the result. So even in this scenario, I was never thinking what if we lose the game. I was thinking what can be done. What should Hardik bowl? What is the field setting that I should have? Where whatever resources I have, what is the best way to make the most of the resources I have? If I have half a glass of water, I don't think about the other half that is not there. So at that point of time, I'm thinking, okay, this is the length we need to bowl. If you're going for a Yorker, what are the pros and cons? The only thing is everything needs to happen very quickly. So you need to take I would say a good decision at that point of time, because best decisions generally बाद में आते हैं. Boardroom में बैठेंगे आराम से सोचेंगे बात करेंगे, but a lot of times in cricket you don't have the luxury of time. So we kept it simple. We are like, this is the length that you should bowl, and we'll take it from there. We'll take it 1 ball at a time, and it worked. At the end of the day it worked. But the thing is not to think about the result. Result is whatever you do, the process you are following, the byproduct is the result. So if you need to revisit, you revisit the process. Result, it's more like a learning. It tells you what went wrong. So you take the learnings out of it. You don't carry that excess baggage on your head. Oh, I lost, this happened, that happened. No, it's all irrelevant. You lost, you accept that loss. And the only way to move forward is to take the learnings out of it.
So most of my friends today who are in their 20s and 30s, they're very hungry for success. They want quick success. So as someone who has had such a fantastic career and has achieved so much in the eyes of the public, does it feel like there is more to achieve? Is that hunger still alive? Or if not, what is important to you today in life?
Right from the start, I was not into that people should remember me as a good cricketer. I always said, I want to be remembered as a good human being. And if you want to be a good human being, it's a process till you die. So cricket to me is a part of life. So once I started playing serious cricket, or once I started representing India, you'll play for India for 10 years, 15 years, 5 years or 20 years. If you are, if you start at an early age, maybe 20 years and beyond, but the whole thing is it is still part of life. If I consider I live for, let's say, 60 years or 70 years, it's 1/3 of my life.
Right.
So you want your life to be productive. If I score run, I'm scoring runs for myself. But what is it I'm doing that I'm making it better for people who's around? So मैं ऐसा क्या कर रहा हूँ कि मेरे साथ का जो batsman है, his life in the crease becomes easy for him. So for me, every day is important. I try to be the best version of myself, and that's what keeps me going. and that is something that has kept me going for a very long time, and I don't think I'll change that perspective, because cricket will end, whether next year becomes my last year or the year after that. But again, it will be a part of my life, that will have a comma or a full stop, but the life continues.
मैं 5 और साल कम से कम
1 year at a time.
1 year at a time.
So one last question. So most of us, when we look at a celebrity, we feel like, okay, their life is perfect, everything is going well, happy life. So I wanted to ask you, is there anything that's like bothering you in life, any problems that you're facing? Like, is life really perfect?
The thing is, we all have a set of problems. We all face different kind of problems. For some, it may be different, from others, it may be different. But I feel problems are the real essence of life. Imagine if you have a life where everything is so smooth that once you get up in the morning, you don't really have anything to look up to. Because everything is so smooth, whether it's your business, whether it's something or the other. So for me, when I was like COVID times and all, I had a lot of times, my worry was, I have to make that bike. So once I've opened my bike and I don't know much about it, then I'm like, what do I need to do? For me, that is trouble. For me, once I FaceTime my daughter and she says, can you come tomorrow? That is a trouble. When my father, some 5-7 years back, he was like, you have played enough cricket. Leave it now. There are others who will play. So now, there are different things that's problem for you.
Yeah.
It's just that problems are important part of life, because if they don't keep testing us, we won't really improve. So I feel if all of us need to have problem, but there are certain people where their problems are much bigger than ours. And if we are well-to-do, we should try to take care of them, try to do our best, to guide them, so that they have a life, which is a bit more peaceful.